a while back, I picked this baby up. And while I was waiting for the rollback, I happened to notice this old black Ford pickup out by the tree line at the house where this was at. So having an inquiring mind, I asked about it, and sure enough, it was for sale, but it didn't run. However, someone was coming to look at it in about an hour and a half. So I thought to myself, can I get this thing running in an hour and a half before this person arrives? Come on along as we find out. Here's today's project. It's a 75 Ford F250 flatbed. This truck has seen a lot of work in its life. But I'm willing to bet it still has lots more to give. The tires appear to be up on it. It's been here a long time, as you can imagine. Looking at how dirty it is, maybe it won't come through, but it's filthy. Quite an assortment of hubcaps inside. No key, that's a bummer. All kinds of junk on the floor. Axe handles, and it's a 4-speed. Check out the bend on that shifter. Some kind of aftermarket stereo in it. Oh, 8-track, cool. Stereo 8-track. That is neat. It's a 75, I believe. Steel flatbed. It's seen some use, no plate, so I can't be sure how long it's been here, but it's been a while for sure. I'm just shocked that the tires appear to have air in them. Crazy shocked at that. This is not a good sign. This boat tank looks like it's plumbed in. Yeah, that was the cover on the tank. That makes me think maybe this thing was used around the property that it's on rather than street driven when it was parked. This handle is broken, but if I reach inside, I should be able to open the door. Yeah. Let's see. Man, I can't tell. It looks like 105,000 on it, based on what I can see. No AC. I don't know what that thing is. Some kind of kitchen device. Looks like a can opener. Headliner's coming down, as you can imagine. Bottom of the seat shot. Very industrial type of seat. Sliding back window that's open. Floor. Been patched. Been patched with some really heavy duty steel at one point in the past. See if the clutch, the clutch appears to work. A little bit lazy, but appears to work. It's rough, admittedly so, but so is almost everything that I work on. Let's check under the hood, see what we have going on here. Where's the latch on this thing? Okay. There we go. Oh wow. That's a bit of a surprise. It's actually a 6-cylinder and an F250 4-speed, and it's got huge horns. Wow. Wow. Those are crazy. Look at that. That battery box is not rotted out. That's crazy. That never happens. Don't know if it's seized. We'll check in a minute. There's an old oil filter on this thing. It says, oh, it's an old FTP. Filtrode acetite. I don't know what in the world that's supposed to mean. But I mean, it's all here. It's all here. Doesn't look like it's been messed with much. Yeah, the carb isn't stuck. Be pretty cool if I can get this running. Pretty cool. It is for sale. Obviously, if I can get it running, the owner will get more for it. But we'll see if I'm successful at that. Next step, I'm going to see if it's seized. I'm solo today, so your camera angles are going to be a little different than usual, but this is pretty much the standard stuff. Easy to see here. There's no fan shroud or anything in the way. Just put the socket on the crank bolt and see if the crank turns. And it does. Oh, it turned and then it's stuck. So it's not completely seized, but there's something going on here. Could be a valve, could be ring ridge, could be a lot of things. Yeah, it moves a little bit. So I'm going to pull the plugs, put some oil in those cylinders, see if I can get this thing to free up. Let's see what the master cylinder looks like. Oh boy, it's stuck as you could expect. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. Completely dry, and not dry, but very crappy in there. So this is not going to have any brakes, but that's to be expected. This thing has been sitting a very long time. I don't know how long it's been sitting. No one's able to tell me, but it has been sitting a very long time, no doubt. This is plug number 1. Very, very sooty. Very sooty. I'm gonna have to clean that up. Wow. Very sooty. I'm gonna try something a little different today. I'm going to actually try this Cree-Oil stuff in the cylinders other than mystery oil. The engine's not totally seized, and I want to see how this stuff works. If I can't get it unstuck with this, then of course I'll use the mystery oil. So I'm putting a good amount in each cylinder. And I'm going to go through 1 through 6 and do that. Number 2 is the same, except it came out really, really, really hard. I had to go back and forth, oiled up the threads as much as I could. Man, it came out hard. I hope the others aren't all that difficult. But like number 1, while it's out, I'm just gonna squirt a whole bunch of this in the cylinder and let it sit. See if that helps free it up. I bet it will. Unless I have a stuck valve, I bet it will. I've got it moving more, but not where it needs to be. All right, I can move it maybe a quarter turn now. So something is still, see that? It's moving more, but then it stops. So it's getting better and better, but it's going to take some time going back and forth, back and forth. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put some mystery oil down the carburetor to get to the valves. I'm thinking that it's probably a valve at this point that's stuck. So I'm going to try that. I'm also going to check the distributor to make sure the distributor cam is turning. So I poured the mystery oil in the carb, waited a few minutes, and used a slightly longer ratchet on the crank, and I'm able to get it to move now, and it's easier, getting easier and easier. So I think I probably had a stuck valve, and the mystery oil going down in the cylinders freed it up. So that's fantastic news. This baby is unstuck. I'm going to go around to two full times, and then we'll take it to the next step. The engine's loose enough now where we can actually try to spin it over with the starter. I got to clean these battery posts, and this one is missing altogether. How nice that is. But I'll clean that up, and I think I've got one, but if I don't, I'll just use vice grips on it, because ultimately these 6s aren't too hard to spin over. But let's get these cleaned up and give this a try. All right, we're going to try the voltage test. Just tap the battery, see if there's any spark. Nothing at all. That's okay, because the key's not on. So I'm going to see, I don't have the key, so I'm going to try to start it with this, if it'll crank over. Here's a moment of truth here. And it's turning over. It's turning over. It sounds decent. Blew out the mystery oil, which is good. I'm going to try it again. Yeah, the mystery oil is out. So now I'm going to put the plugs back in and give it a little fuel, see if it'll fire. Before I actually check if it fires, I'm going to look under this cap, see if we have any spark in the points. I've got 3 of the plugs back in. Oh yeah, it's pretty bad under here. Yeah, this rotor is really corroded. So I'm going to clean that up and then check for spark. So all you've got to do when the points are corroded is just clean these 2 contact surfaces here. See if I can get you right in there. Yeah, right there. This one and this one. Just clean them. You can see the points are open right now. Just put some emery cloth in there, move it around a bit, and that's usually enough to clean them up. I'm going to move the engine a bit to get the points to close and see if they're sparking. This cap is very bad, very worn. It was super dirty. See the edges, the black on the edges? It's actually burned away some of the Bakelite. This cap has been in here an extremely long time. I don't know whether it's going to be good enough to start it, and I don't know if I have a spare for a 6-cylinder. But I do have spark now in the points. I've got my spark checker hooked up, so I'm going to put the rest of the plugs in and see if this thing will fire. All right, we got spark. So let's see if this thing will fire off just a little bit. Give it a tiny shot of gas in the carb. I'm going to put some in the bowl, but also a little down the carb. It may take a few cranks because of the mystery oil that I put down the carburetor, but let's see. Ignition is hooked up, so we're ready to go. Doesn't look like I have spark. Thought I did. Oh, wait a minute. These plug wires are in really bad shape and one of them popped off. Let's try that again. No. No, we just don't have spark here. Okay, something's up with those points. I'll have to get back to it. All right, now we have spark at the points. I just had to really sand them down, much more than I usually have to do. So at this point, we're going to, there's already a little gas in the carb. I'm just going to see if I can get the spark checker to spark. Nope. So I'm thinking that this cap is just too short. It's not getting the spark to the plug wires. I just think the cap is bad. I'm gonna have to see if I brought one. All right, try again. Sanded the points again. Am getting a spark through the spark checker. So let's see how this works. Whoa! Whoa, yeah. It started. It started. Wow. Fantastic. Fantastic. Try that again. Yeah. So it was the points. They were just super dirty, and I couldn't get them clean. I'm going to hook up a fuel supply next, see if we can get this thing to run a little bit longer. All right, got my fuel supply hooked up. Let's see what's wrong with the carb. See if anything's stuck or whatever. I'm gonna put as much fuel as I can in the bowl because I really need to have it running for a bit so I can jump from starting it at the solenoid to the fuel, the accelerator. Let's see. Ignition hooked up. Okay, not sure, I'm still got spark. Huh, okay, maybe not. Let's give that another try. Yeah! Let's see if it starts feeding from the fuel tank. Wow! Sounds beautiful. Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. This baby runs. Wow. Fantastic. Fantastic. Awesome. 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 Okay. Good deal. Wow. Wouldn't say it runs great, but it runs. Fantastic. So I got the trigger hooked up. I thought I had forgotten to bring this with me, but I have it. So no worries now about working the ignition, the starter in the accelerator. Let's see if it's charging. Doesn't appear to be charging. Maybe it's charging, but very weakly. You can see it's idling. Got an exhaust leak. Can't let it run too long. It doesn't have a lot of coolant in it. Some, but not a lot. Wow, it just really smoothened out. And then quit. I think it ran out of gas, but it really smoothed out before that. So it's getting better and better. What a cool old truck. Yeah, I did run out of gas. It is getting smoother and smoother. I'm going to see if I have any bearings with me. Yeah, see that? It's smooth. Oh, wow. Listen to that. Wow. Hey, that was a cool thing for you to witness. I mean, that's unreal how it smoothed out. It's getting choppy again. That is cool. I'm going to try some berryman. Shut this thing down. Let it cool off, and I'm going to try some berryman. Okay, here's the berryman. Just pour a little bit in the carburetor as it's running. Don't dump it in. And see if it smooths it out. Okay. You're out of gas again. Boy, this 6-cylinder is hungry. All right, that should do it. Let's try it. Look at that. Wow. I would say today is a great success. Great success. Unreal. What an awesome truck. And there you have it. Nice old 75 Ford truck. People think it was junk. I'm sure maybe even the owner thought it was junk. With a little bit of work, it's running. I fully expect that with some brake work, you could probably drive this thing. Thank you all so much for watching today. Really appreciate it. channel appreciates it. Christina appreciates it. We wouldn't be where we are without you, and you can be sure that we'll never forget that. Great day today. Lots of success with this old thing. What a cool old truck. And you know, it's a nice day out today. This was so much fun. Truck gave me a little bit of hassle, but nothing really bad. So these old Fords are amazing. When I popped the hood and I saw this was the Ford 306, I was surprised it was only a 6 in this thing, but I knew this thing was going to run. There's no question about it.